Two stories about flying. CBSE Class 10 English Chapter 3 Notes. Chapter Sketch and Characters. The chapter Two Stories About Flying is a combination of two inspiring stories, his first flight and the black aeroplane. Let's see the characters. In story 1, his first flight, there is a family of seagulls, which is there are 6 members in the family, and the young seagull is the one who is unable to fly due to fear. In second story, which is the black aeroplane, the narrator, a pilot who was flying his Dakota aeroplane over France back to England, lost his way due to storm. The unknown friend is a pilot who is flying the black aeroplane, helped the narrator find the way in the storm. The woman is the working woman in the control center whom the narrator asked about the unknown friend of the black aeroplane. Now let's talk about first story, that is his first flight. Liam O'Flaherty. This story is about a family of seagulls. There was a young child in the family who was unable to fly even after several tries. The story highlights the importance of family and friends in one's life. It also gives the message that one needs to believe in self to overcome all the hurdles of own life. The Seagull Family. The Seagull family consists of 6 seagulls, mother, father, 3 sons, and 1 daughter. All of them, except the youngest son, are expert in flying high. His parents have tried several times to teach him how to fly, but he is scared to do that and does not want to try anymore. He relies on the food that his parents bring back from their flights. Young seagulls' fear of flying. The youngest son is afraid of flying as he thinks that if he flies, his wings would not support him and he would fall down in the sea below and drown. Even his parents have rebuffed him. They even threatened him if he doesn't fly, he would die of hunger, but he does not try. Parents leave young seagull alone. After so many failed attempts, his parents leave him alone on the rock without food. They even taunt him for his cowardice. The young seagull looks at his brothers and sisters enjoying swimming, diving in the seawater for fish to feed themselves, but no one comes near him to offer food. Hunger and heat increase. As the time passes, the young seagull could not tolerate the hunger and the heat. He moves closer to the edge and pretends to fall asleep, but nobody takes notice of him. His brothers and sisters have already had hearty breakfast, and father seems busy preening the feathers off on his back. The mother looks at him and tries to tempt him with pieces of fish. Her begging and crying does not affect him. Young seagull dives for food. The young seagull was very hungry. He was surprised enough at his mother's ignorance of his pitiful condition. Thus he dives for food. He begins to fall down with a scream as soon as he dives. Flight begins. The seagull begins to fall in the sea. He is afraid of drowning, so he tries to spread his wings outwards and begins flying. He feels a little dizzy, but all his fear vanished. He soars slowly downwards and upwards. He could finally fly on his own. Joy of flight and reunion of family. The seagull becomes so happy and soars high, calling ga ga ga. It was really a joyous moment for the whole family. His brothers and sister, along with his parents, came near to encourage and cheer him. The young seagull successfully made his first flight. Let's look at the chapter highlights. Seagull family of 6 members. The young seagull afraid of flying. Family has concern of his food and fear of flying. Cajoling and provoking him by family. Family leaves him alone at the rock. He cries because of heat and hunger. No one looks at him except the mother. Temptation by mother for a piece of fish. He pretends to sleep, but nobody comes to him. Everybody taunts him for his cowardice. The young seagull dives to catch a fish to feed himself. He tries to spread his wings outwards. He begins to fly slowly downwards and upwards. He is now no longer afraid of flying and falling down in the sea. He soars with a joyous scream. Seagull family comes near to him and encourages him. He has made his first flight successfully. Now let's look at the second story, which is the Black Aeroplane from Frederick Forsyth. In the story, the narrator was flying to England with his family to enjoy his holiday. He wanted to reach England in time so that he could enjoy a good English breakfast with his family. The trip to England. The author was flying his aeroplane at night over France to England. He was eager to meet his family. He was dreaming of his holiday. The stars were shining in the clear sky. Even the city Paris could be seen down below. He called Paris control to get instructed about the way. He was instructed to turn 12 degrees west. Fear of storm. Everything was going well before he saw the storm clouds, and Paris was about 150 kilometers behind him. It was natural for the author to panic. He knew that it was not possible to fly up and over those storm clouds. He was confused for retourment. A risky but brave decision of the author. As everything was fearful at the moment, the author decided to risk and flew into the storm. But everything went worse. The compass as well as the other instruments stopped working. He was unable to see outside the plane as the plane was jumping and twisting in the air. He tried to contact Paris control but couldn't. He was lost in the storm. A black aeroplane appeared. Suddenly, the author saw another black aeroplane in the storm by his side without lights on its wings. It seemed strange to him, but he was glad to see another person in the storm. The pilot of another plane waved at him and signaled to follow, so he did that because he did not have other options except it. A safe landing. The author flew for half an hour, which was quite strange to him as he had fuel only for 5 or 10 minutes. He felt tearful, but suddenly he saw two bright lines in front of him. It was a runway. He was able to land safely, which gave him a sigh of relief. It was just like a miracle for him. The greatest surprise. The author came out of his plane to thank the pilot of the black aeroplane, but he was shocked to see no one there. He went to control tower and asked the woman about the place and the black aeroplane. Hearing his words, the woman laughed and said that there was no other aeroplane except his. It was a big surprise to the author. He was dumbfounded as he had no explanation for the miracle. Chapter highlights. The clear sky with shining stars. The author was about to meet his family at breakfast. At 1:30 in the morning, author flew in his Dakota aeroplane and he was instructed to turn 12 degrees west by Paris control. He was around 150 kilometers away from Paris. The cloud storms approached him. He decided to enter the storm, a risky decision of the author due to his willingness to see his family. He lost the way in the storm. All the instruments stopped working. A black aeroplane appeared by the author's side in the storm. He was instructed to follow the black plane. Without much fuel, he flew for half an hour. He landed safely on the runway. He went out from his aeroplane to thank the pilot of the black aeroplane. Got surprised not to find anyone there in the aeroplane. The author asked the woman of control tower about the black aeroplane. She laughed and replied in negative about such a plane. A miracle with no explanation for the author which saved his life.